Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the 0 Hours with me, Mikey Brown. It is Friday, September the 13th. Yes, Friday the 13th of 2024. I'm in the lower level of the TZH Podcasting compound this evening. I have all the fur cohorts upstairs, so if you hear rumbling, grumbling, barking, whatever, that's just the cohorts. They're harmless, but we'll see how it goes. Damn, already with the nose down here, this temperature difference down here, I guess. But I had a big spiel planned, but it's gonna have to kind of take second back seat, I guess you would say, to the announcement from Stinkin' Blinken, who went over to Europe to cause his normal trouble. And with that, the announcement was made that by the end of the weekend, we could green light Ukraine to use NATO missiles to bomb Russia. Well, guess old Vladimir Putin isn't a big fan of that, and he actually said that they will use the appropriate consequences if that happens. I actually think old Vladdy was trying to wait out for the election. I don't see an election now. I mean, as much as the Kamala people were spouting about the debate, which I will talk about here shortly, we all know a state of emergency means no election. Zelensky pulled the same bullshit over there. And what better way to guarantee that the libtards stay in power than to have a World War III, which is exactly what they've been driving for all along. This was by design. It was the plan. I don't give two shits what people tell me that, oh no, it's just Vladimir's got to be stopped. Horse shit. Ukraine is, as for the millionth time, I'm going to tell you, the Ukraine is not a fucking NATO ally. They're in a money laundering scheme with our crooked fucking politicians, and I mean all of them at this point. There's so many rhinos, so many fuckweeds on both sides. The left's full of them, the right's more than ample amount of them. I'm talking the Mitch McConnells, the Lindsey Graham fucks, the Mike Johnson coward ass, them kind of people. And we're in fucking trouble here. If we really go through, if Stinkin' Blinken, who absolutely loves to play the patsy messenger of death and destruction, just like Dr. Fauci used to, then exactly this next article I'm going to talk about, it plays right into that the hands of this, okay? Back in 2020, end of 2020, the beginning of 2021, I hadn't been doing this podcast a long time, because it was induced by the COVID shit, why I started this. But I come along something called the Deagle Report back then. And it showed a crazy amount of depopulation from 2024 to 2025. And I thought, well, that's kind of scary, but it's probably bullshit. That's what I said, probably bullshit. But this guy wrote this in 2020, in October. And he had this Deagle forecast 2025. And the image was that Europe would be strong with Russia and China, and people like Germany, the UK, which we already see the UK is a shit show, and the Canada and the United States would be significantly impacted by some major catastrophic events. Now, a lot of people played that to be the COVID thing. And the COVID thing, maybe it was at first, because in April of 2021, this report went bye-bye. You didn't see it anymore. So I thought, oh, well, probably a hoax. Who knows? This guy wrote this. The UN also chimed in and said there's going to be a lot less workforce for Europe and Japan starting in 2025. There's going to basically be two major players left, NATO and BRICS. That's going to be who's running the world. The elites will take them to and all this and be in power. So you might think to yourself, that sounds crazy. In 2020, it probably did. Here we are in 2024, heading into 2025. Vladimir's got his finger on the fucking button to retaliate because our dumbass want to let Ukraine use our financed missiles along with the very little that NATO probably puts in and fire them deep into the heart of Russia. And they don't think Vladimir Putin's going to fucking retaliate at that. I don't think he has a choice. I seriously don't buy into the expansionism shit that people talk about with him. But if he's pushed into World War III, guess what? He will absolutely fucking do it. I guarantee that. Even the Polish people, they knew Blinken was coming. They told him, we don't want you here. Go home. Stay home. In not a nice voice, they said this. The leaders of Poland. Because we don't want to be involved and get our people killed in your crazy, outlandish, warmongering selves with your war, your bullshit wars, your forever wars. That's what the goal is with this administration and the World Economic Forum and the WHO and NATO and the UN. They're all fucking tied up to make this World War III a doozy. They can keep the lefties in power. They can get all their Agenda 2030 shit in place. If they feel like stopping the war in 2030, they can because everything will already be there. Yeah, I know. I'm a conspiracy theory. I am. But this is sounding more and more every day. This Deagle report. And you can look it up on the internet yourself. If you don't believe what I'm saying, it's on there. It's on there again. Deagle report. Look it up. And here's the population from the Deagle report. And Deagle, by the way, is spelled DEAGEL. DEAGEL.com. And they're not just some random company predicting this shit. They're a military and aviation company. So they know, they're in the know. But what I want to know is, what does Deagle know that we don't? Did they know this all along, that this was going to build up to this with the rigged election in 2020, sparked by the Wu flu, and that was going to be it? That was going to be the catalyst to get everybody to test run. But, we have bird flu laying around. We have other diseases laying around that were maybe fail-safes. But if they could get the ultimate goal of World War III, that would be great. And they knew they had to hurry because the election could go either way. And it might not be big enough to rig. The separation, Trump could have had more separation. Now, right now, they show Harris winning in the polls. That's the kind of shit that keeps me up at night and cold sweats and fucking insomnia. Is thinking that this crazy loon, we're going to have 4 more years of this bullshit going on. Yeah, it does. It keeps me up at night. But here's the population, okay? The population in 2017, this is the comparisons, was, 7.9 billion people on the planet. That was the estimation in 2017. The 2025 Deagle report shows 6.9 billion people on the planet. That's quite a reduction. As we know, it's well over 8 billion by now anyway. But the scary part is the population in the United States in 2017 was 327 million people. Now, we know there's been 20-some million illegals come over, so we're right around 350 million. The Deagle report forecast for the population in the United States in 2025 is 100 million people. So you're talking 1/3, a little less than 1/3, is all that's going to remain of us, according to their guesstimations. Does it all tie in? I mean, could it be the V word that shall not be named? Will that start knocking more people out of commission? Is it the chemtrails? Have they been spraying shit that's going to kill us? Because, you know, Billy Gates will have no problem doing that. He's a depopulation head honcho. He wants to depopulate. He said the only way the world's Earth survived climate change, they use that bullshit. The only way the world's going to be able to handle climate change is to depopulate. And, you know, you would think he was talking 5-10%. We're talking 60-some percent of our people is what this forecast. What do they know at Deagle that we don't know? There's some sinister shit abound. That's what I'm going to tell you. It's fucking literally Armageddon time. It could be this weekend. So all the shit we've been hearing this week, and I won't go into a lot of the details about the dog and cats, because, you know, that was a big thing. I will talk about it during the debate time. The Haitian refugees eating animals over there, whatever. I don't have any proof of that I've seen. Some people say it's happening, but you know how stories are, whatever. I know they can't drive where the fuck. I know most of the Haitian population does practice voodoo, so is there animals missing for voodoo? Who fucking knows? The only people that know are the Haitians and the people that are right beside them. I don't hate any person based on first look. Okay? But if their culture's fucked up and they're killing pets, yeah, I'd be pissed. But until I see defining evidence, I don't know. I'm just not going to hang my hat on it because in the scheme of things right now, who gives a fuck? It's kind of like the election. Who gives a shit if we're not going to have an election? Why are we talking about it? And it's scary enough to where I think that could happen. And not trying to be an alarmist. I'm a realist. I've always been a fucking realist. That this shit could very well pop off. I mean, the end of the world as we know it, you know? Armageddon it, baby. We're going to fucking pay the piper. It could be, we could win, and it wouldn't matter, and the Deagle report could be absolutely just a bullshit forecast that failed miserably. Or Vladimir's got more up his sleeve than we know, and you know they got a shit ton of weapons. Can we block them all? If it hits one coastline or the other, are we fucked? And you know the West Coast? I'm going to say it without, because I have zero fucks anymore. Zero empathy for a lot of things. But I definitely have no cause to think that if they bomb the West Coast, that, you know, not only will it fall in the ocean, it's already weak as shit with the fault lines and stuff like that. But take out the West Coast, guess what? That's a shit ton of people. And it's a shit ton of people that should own this shit because they're all lefties. Build back better, I guess, meant go to wars and fund other wars and then finally get us in World War III. That's building back better in your mind. Okay, if that's how you guys think, if that's building back better, then we're in a long fucking haul. We're in a lot of trouble. We'll go to the debate, I guess. Even though it's really probably, well, there was a funny thing. It wasn't on the debate, but old Timmy Walls, he really, this is just a lighthearted thing because I just hit you with World War III news, but he was at a speech of some sort. And he come out and he meant to say when Kamala was a young prosecutor. But he said prostitutioner. Yeah, I think he knows her maybe a little better than we do. A little bit better. So yeah, that was one of the somewhat relieving some anxiety when funny shit like that happens. But we go to the debate. I don't think I have a lot of it written down here about the debate, so I won't have to go into shit tons of detail on here. I will go by memory. I did watch the whole thing, and it started out, I was surprised Kamala came over. She did come over and shook Donnie's hand. Donnie did not pull back. I mean, he didn't pull back, but he didn't run over there to shake her hand either. So, yeah, I got to try to. I thought I had some stuff on here written down about it, but I guess I don't, so I'll just wing it. So the first question that these, and the moderators, I'll get into that, because the moderators were so fucking biased to the left. This David Muir and Lindsay Davis, who we come to find out later was a sorority sister of Kamala Harris. There's no conflict of interest there. Now, not only did every time Donald Trump say something, they fact-checked him in real time, but Kamala got away with murder, literally. Now, I mean, literally word murder, because she looked much better than Trump, because they weren't fact-checking her, calling out any of her lies, and she had 20 plus. The Project 2025 thing was brought up. That's a Heritage Foundation deal. It's not a Trump-related thing. He ran right out and said, I haven't even read it. I don't want to read it. And I believe that he hasn't, and I don't believe he wants to. He's not going to let somebody else write his agenda. Agenda 47? Yeah. Be ready for that. Be ready for it. But it's this, even a guy got on, this Project 2025 bullshit is irritating. Because the former director of Project 2025, whose name is Paul Davis, I think it's Davis, Dan, something like that, but it's Paul something, says, I forgot my glasses if you didn't notice. So, breaking news, he said, Trump had nothing to do with Project 2025, but do the liberals believe it? Nah. Do the lefties believe it? No. Kamala, whatever the fuck her name is, kept running her gums about it like it was a big fucking thing. And no, it wasn't. It's not. It's not, because Trump's not involved with it. If you want to read Agenda 47, that's his. And, he did make himself look bad a couple times, more than once, I will say. Not just with the dogs and cats thing, because that had been a pretty widespread rumor on TV and news, whatever. He probably shouldn't have fired out with that one, because it did make him look somewhat silly, I guess, to people that don't believe it at all. Some people in Springfield I've seen on videos saying it's absolutely happening. They're scared to leave their house. It's not a fucking joke, blah, blah, blah. And other people say it's absolutely not happening. So, which one is it? Fuck, we don't know. We don't know. I don't know. I don't live in Springfield. I know that's their culture and the Haitian culture in Haiti. But here in the United States, does it still keep going? I don't know. You'd have to ask the people that are right there, ground zero, with the Haitian immigrants. And there's not just in Springfield, but there's a shit ton of them from Springfield, because that's where a lot of them went for jobs and whatnot. And it's like, okay. But a lot of them, I guess, still aren't working and getting a lot of government assistance, and it's pissing the people off, the locals off that are there. So, yeah. I was all on board with it. I thought it's probably true. It's probably true. And one lady was on a student council or a city council meeting. She went off about how bad it was there. She said 60,000 residents, 20,000 are Haitian immigrants. it's just not sustainable for a place like Springfield. I'll be honest. I don't know. I never lived in Springfield. I'm not going to say I'm an expert. It's always had a reputation as being kind of rough and tumble in most parts of the city. Now, they call it a small city. Well, it's 60,000 people. That's about 3 times the size of the city I grew up in. Probably 15 times the size of where I'm at. So it's not a small town to me. It's a bigger city. So, but still, is that sustainable for anybody? Do you remember? And I remember it pretty well when we got the first kind of rush of immigrants coming in. That they took 50 of them to Martha's Vineyard, and they decided that they didn't have the resources in rich old big money Martha's Vineyard to take care of 50 migrants, 50 illegals. So they had the National Guard come in and remove them and take them somewhere else. That's in a highfalutin area of Martha's Vineyard, where people have extra bedrooms in every house they own. Can't keep 50 people. But a not real ritzy, not a lot of money, Springfield, Ohio, a suburb of Dayton, basically, has the resources to take in 20,000 extra people. That doesn't make it make sense. I mean, really, make it make sense to me. I don't get it. And they went on with the whole debate, and Kamala's lying. Trump's, himself, he got baited. He did. He got baited and got pissed. And he had a couple good one-liners, the I'm speaking, does that sound familiar line that he used. He had the run spot run talking about her campaign, 1 or 2 pages she has in policies. But then again, it came down to affordable, the Obamacare and all the insurance. And he made a faux pas there, old Trumper did, and said he has a concept of a plan. That was probably the dumbest thing he said all night. But, the cats and dogs, he thought it was legit. And I still think it might be. It's just not widespread, and it's not just in Springfield. Haitian culture it goes over the places. The one they had was a goose that they saw a guy walking down the street with. That was in Columbus, which is Libtardia, Ohio. But it's far enough away from Springfield. Then they said there was a woman in eating a cat. Come to find out, this was in Canton, Ohio, and I guess through the news vines, it was somebody just had a mental break, and they were not a Haitian refugee. So, okay. So the Haitians did get some unjust fucking hatred spewed down on them. But I also seen a guy who lives in Springfield, and he had real bad names for them, called them sand monkeys, all this shit, because they're moving in all over his neighborhood. Other people are getting kicked out of their homes to supply these people places to live. So it's still a problem whether or not they're eating the cats and the geese and the ducks. And that's been the biggest report I've heard, is the ducks and the geese and all that good shit. But, anyway, the debate went on, and definitely 3 against 1. Donnie held his own for 3 against 1, but I don't think it swayed anybody to go from left to right. And it sure as hell, I would hope, didn't sway anybody to go from right to left. And the independents, I think most of those are set. I really do. I think most of those, they either like Trump or you don't like Trump. You're going to hate him or you're going to love him, or at least tolerate him highly. A lot of the RFK supporters, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be enough. I don't think there's going to be enough to make the big difference in the election. I think, like I said, I've told Fred X the same thing. I am terrified that she's going to win because it's just going to be more of this same. And now with the news today, it's even worse. It's going to be even worse. Now, there was a guy, his name was Brett Weinstein, or Weinstein, however you say it. He made a pretty ominous, whatever that word is, like scary, eerie, whatever, prediction for November. And he said this is what he thinks. He said he thinks that the blue team will not win the election. He said he believes they will be defeated both in the popular vote and the electoral court, but it will not be reported that way. So they're thinking, this guy's thinking the fix is in. He said the deep state, or whatever it is, uses every trick in the book to bring about an electoral result which finds it favorable. He said he sees the blue team perfectly willing to cheat. We already know that. We already know they're willing to cheat, and they're going to say that it's in ways that are not visible in public. My thing here with the immigrants is all these Haitians are wrecking cars and all this because they're getting driver's permits. And they're doing it at the BMV through interpreters. And they're getting registered to vote at the same time. Now, I didn't think illegals could vote. I thought you'd have to be a legal citizen of the country. And people are telling me, yes, they have to be legal. Illegals can't vote. I call horseshit. I think that it happened in 2020. A vote's a vote. Who are you going to really? We're not able in real time to track that shit as well as we should, could, would. So you got to think, if 20 million people are on the blue side, that's a big fucking deficit there. Because they sure as hell don't want to vote for Trump, who's got massive deportation rumblings going on. That's one of the first things he wants to do, is the largest mass deportation event in the country's history. Way bigger than Eisenhower did way back in the day. And he came out today and said that he will remove the Haitians from Springfield, Ohio. And I was like, what are you doing, Don? You got to have more proof than that. If they're getting bussed and flown here by our government, is it really all their fault? It's the fucking left's fault that a lot of them are here. They've been flying them in for God knows how long. And the question I pose is, how comes everybody I see that's an immigrant coming to this country seems to be nice, clean, have a nice cell phone, have decent, not dirty clothes? Then I see pictures of Haiti and it's a fucking disaster. Who's putting all these clothes and everything, all this money to bring them here? Who's doing it? I'd say it's got to be the lefties for the votes. Now, I don't blame the Haitians for wanting to get the fuck out of that crazy country. I mean, it's a shithole dump. But when you come to a new country, you got to assimilate. You have to assimilate some. They're not assimilating well. They're just taking money, doing what the fuck they want, seemingly. Maybe they are. They're taking a lot less paying jobs. Urbana, they said today, I watched a guy on TikTok. He was going to Urbana, supposedly a big encampment behind the laundromat in Urbana. So if you're anywhere near Urbana and you listen to this show, Urbana, Ohio, go to the laundromat, go behind there and see what you see. Because there's more people that actually go there. I mean, I thought about going. I did. I thought about going over there to Springfield and Urbana, just driving around that area. But you know what? I don't trust I like living. Bad enough I got fucking World War III hanging over our fucking head right now. And I really don't want to see somebody doing something to a pet or a fucking animal. If I did see it, I would want to get involved. And guess what? I'd probably get macheted to fucking death. Because smart man, I would take my pew-pew, but then you imagine the uproar if you shoot somebody over there right now. Like, no. I mean, this is just an election that we must win. If it comes down to where we have an election, which is not looking good. It is not looking good right now to have an election at all. So, I mean, you got to think back in the Founding Fathers' day. The Founding Fathers fought a revolution to get us to be free, and that's what we're kind of facing right now. Us peons like me and you, if you're on the right side or whatever, or even if you're on the left, the fight's going to come to your fucking doorstep sooner or later. You can only hide so far. I mean, this country's only so big, and we're going to have a civil war if nothing else. If we don't have World War III, whoever wins the election is going to be a big blow up. I've said this before. If Trump would win, it's going to be a blood fucking curdling mess for months and months and probably years. It's going to be that animosity. And if the left wins, you're going to get a spike up, but then the right, we're just on that moral high ground we take. That we can't riot and shit to get what we want. We have to try to do it the right, proper way. The right, proper way ain't fucking working anymore. It's just not working. And, you know, the deep state's real, folks. I don't care. Call me whatever, but the deep state is a real thing. It's a conspiracy of self-interest. The fucking elite. They're going to... They get together, all the ones I just mentioned, NATO and World Economic Forum and UN and fucking all that good shit. They get together. They clamp down with, you know, they're basically dictatorship, totalitarian shit. And they did that with COVID I believe it's to be a trial run at this point. Could they get us to lock down in our house and not go anywhere, not be around anybody? Well, fuck, it worked. It did. I mean, this whole thing's a system. It's real similar to what we had to overthrow in 1776. So we'll go 1776 on them. Hopefully, enough people on the right finally say, you know what, this is do or die. This is not about morality anymore. Which, you know, the lefties laughed at that. Well, you guys don't have no morality. You're voting for the MAGA fucking cult Trump, you know, and it's like, we have to. We have to because the alternative is what we had going on in Aurora, Colorado, where the migrants are taking over. No, nothing's being really done. The main dogs in Colorado want to deny it's even fucking happening. But the people in those apartment buildings will come on TikTok and X and everything else say it's fucking happening. So it's trying to be covered up by the state and the police department, but the mayor said it's all happening. He had some scrote to him, and he come out and said it. Then you go to Chicago, the mess it is. They had Venezuelans trying to take over Chicago on the west side in O Block. You didn't hear much about it afterwards because I think Chicago probably takes care of business. I mean, the people on the ground probably take care of business. But with Venezuela, even the Venezuelan gangs and stuff, they're really in panic mode now. The military and the law enforcement are in panic mode because this fucking Venezuelan gang is expanding. It's called Tren de Aragua, whatever. I can't speak that language. Tren de Aragua. It's an illegal migrant gang. Gangsters. They're all gangsters. They're taking over New York neighborhoods now. 400 people are already in the Bronx, Brooklyn. They're constantly expanding their territory across the country. That's great. Venezuelans they have nothing to fucking lose. That's the problem. You have Venezuelans, you have Guatemalans, you have fucking Haitians. They have nothing to lose. Now, there's going to be a big percent of all those minority groups or migrant groups I just named. Big percentage just want to get out of a shithole and come here and be in the greatest country in the world. But you always have bad apples in every fucking bushel. The bad apples right now are definitely outweighing the fucking good ones. And it's sad because it's just, they're not going to get a chance. They're going to get lumped in, like you're seeing a lot of places, they're getting lumped into the category because they happen to be that color and from that country. They're going to get lumped in because of the fucking assholes that are doing the gang shit. You know, it's just, and people wonder why we say we need Trump back, because I just don't see all this wasn't happening then. That's the whole thing. The whole kit and caboodle was it wasn't happening under Trump. These wars weren't happening. We had the Abraham Accords. We had peace in the Middle East. Now that's all fucked up. I mean, it's all fucked up. We have shootings. The closer we get to the elections, we're having more shootings. We had a school shooting I talked a little bit about, and there was some nut job driving down on I-75, which is not too far from the next state below me in Kentucky, just randomly shooting people on the interstate. Just fucking doing it. I had ever heard nothing more about that, so I don't even know if they caught the guy. I don't think they did. Kids in schools shooting up each other. There was a 16-year-old kid who got charged with shooting a 15-year-old classmate in Maryland. This Jalen Prince, he got caught, but he got caught trying to break into a house real close by to hide. He got caught there. And he was known to law enforcement, a repeat offender, but it's unclear if he had a juvenile record. They knew him in law enforcement. So that tells me something. So they've had like a dozen of these incidents since 2022. So just shootings in that Maryland area of Maryland. So it's crazy everywhere. And I don't know. I mean, it's just been a bad couple weeks here. It really has. It's been, Kamala Harris scares me enough. Without the threat of war and the immigrants rising up in gangs, and she's flip-flopping on every fucking subject there is, and now they're sending stinking Blinken to start World War III, but blah, blah, blah. But like Kamala, everybody says how smart she is, how well-versed she is, all this. She was on, back when she was meeting with world leaders as the vice president, so many times they had her using crib notes. Now, the debate, they said she had one of those earrings that was like audio earrings, whatever they are, kind of like somebody could be talking to her. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, but it could be. But I hate to go that far on shit that I can't prove. So I think she just did a better job than what people expected. I really do. Unfortunately, because I didn't think she had a brain cell in her. So she must have gained some confidence, gained something, moxie, or really, really did good in her cram session in the hotel to practice. Yeah, so but she scares the hell out of me. She hasn't done anything in years and years and years. But here this, something here. Google is under fire now because, and I know people were doing it with Alexa. They were saying, how's Donald Trump, and they would say nothing good, and then it would go to Kamala Harris, and it'd be a long, oh, she's great, and this and that. So the Google ranked, this is called a position at Google called a growth strategist. He said that Google's search engine manipulation for Kamala Harris campaign was absolutely revenue and politically driven. It was biased all the way. He said Google was essentially promoting through its ads rhetoric that were very pro-Kamala. Big surprise. This guy's name is Dakota Leeser. He's he is an actual growth strategist at Google. He also confessed that Google's primary objective is to generate ad revenue through fear-based content. Where's that been used before? Fear-based. So now they're trying to scare. He said, I think whatever demographic is most fearful is going to be most profitable. It's all about money. How much money do these fucking bastards need to live a life? It's always about money and power. It's just got to be. But he thinks right now the left is more fearful than the right is. Because they're probably scared to fucking death of the Trumpster getting in. But he goes on to say it's all about the share of the stock price. He said Google's liberal bias is not just political, but it's tied to financial gain. Here we go with the money and the power. He said, I think Google has a belief that one side will allow them to make more money. And that side is the elitist and the left. So, political manipulation, bias on that, bias at the fucking debate. It just keeps more and more bias and bias and bias and bias and all that good shit. Well, and Trump's not helping himself by some of the ways he continues to talk. So, and the whole Haitian thing at the debate was bad. And today, I mean, he did not help his cause. A lot of people said he just won the election with that. Well, I don't think so. I think people look at that in a bad way. If you're just middle of the road, it's like, God, he's really going off on these people. And it's been debunked by the city councilman or city manager, whatever the hell it is. But it's funny because they said they'll have a big problem in Springfield, right? Blah, blah. No, there's no problem there. DeWine goes around and sends fucking National Guard and a bunch of money to Springfield. So which one is it? And then we got, and Ohio's a hotbed this week. Been a hotbed because we got fucking Sherrod Brown, who's a piece of shit, Democrat senator. He got confronted by a reporter about the Haitian migrants he voted to import that are now killing and eating people's pets. Yeah, so whether or not that's true, there must be some legitimacy somewhere because people are just going crazy on this whole thing about the dogs and the cats. I heard more cats than anything. I didn't hear anything about the dogs. Yeah, and this Brett Weinstein I talked about, he said, Trump will not be the president because they won't allow it to happen. They just won't, and I could see that. I could see it all day and twice on Sunday. But there's a lot of people. I mean, I was talking about switching from right to left. This is not so much on the debate, but normal everyday people are kind of switching to the right, which you would think would look favorable, but the polls, you can't really go by polls either. But there's a lot of people that realize that everything they've been told about Donald Trump was complete bullshit. It was a lie. It was used for political gain. It was all to make the lefties look better and make Trump look so fucking bad. Yeah. So there's well, I won't talk about J6 yet, but Kamala Harris in her past, this is some shit that could come up in the past. All the election stuff brings out the best, but at one time, Kamala Harris, I guess, sent California Department of Justice agents with AR-15s to raid a journalist's apartment. His crime was reporting inconvenient facts, which is seemingly all we do, right? Facts hurt their feelings and all that good shit. And he said the facts were like her Planned Parenthood donors being involved in the trafficking and sale of unborn baby body parts. She is exactly who we thought she was. Disgusting. She was 0% in 2020 primaries. She was in ranking or in percentages, approval rating, the worst vice president probably ever, if not damn near ever, a couple months ago. Now she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. She couldn't answer. The very first question they asked her in the debate was, do you think we're better off now than we were 4 years ago? She skated around it. She just went right after Donnie full throttle. She never answered the question. I can tell you, I was a hell of a lot better off. Right before COVID, at that point, everything was smooth sailing. Everything was great. It doesn't affect me like it does some people. But it's not fucking good. You can't go out to eat anywhere for $20 anymore. It used to be $10. Now it's convenient that the gas is coming down all of a sudden, right before the election. It's also the interest rates now have cut a little bit right before the election. It's a cycle that we see. The only thing we haven't seen, other than I guess you could say the Haitian thing would be kind of involved, I haven't seen any like race wars, like against the police, like a Georgie Floyd kind of incident, or a Tavon Martin kind of incident that usually pops its ugly head every cycle. I mean, everyone, they always seem to have some kind of racial motivation to it. But Piss Pants, he's one of those weird guys. One of the best things I ever saw was when he was at that firehouse the other day or wherever he was at, a little place in Pennsylvania, I believe. And the guy talked him into popping the Trump hat on his head for just a few seconds. But it was fucking hilarious. And Trump had said at the debate that Biden hates fucking Harris. He said he hates her. He knows he does. And the way they knocked him out, cooed him out. Maybe not. I don't know. But it was funny to see him wear the hat. And it was this. But supposedly, Piss Pants agrees with her bold economic agenda, the Harrises. She said that this was said by a reporter at Jackie Hendrick, I guess. Reporter Jackie Hendrick to Karine Jean-Pierre that 31% of the registered voters, supposedly it's really only 28, said in a New York Times poll that they will need to learn more about Vice President Harris. They need to learn more. So she's trying to spend all this money trying to define how Trump is and this bullshit bogus Project 2025 than she is talking about herself. I still don't know her fucking policies other than the Marxist ones and the ones she copied from Trump. But OKJP, our lovely resident lesbian woman of color, she's always cringing when she gets any questions about anything she don't like to answer. She come out and was asked about it. She said, those are campaign questions. I'm going to have to refer you to the campaign, blah, blah, blah. She goes, repealing the Affordable Care Act's a bad idea, and that's a lot of people are pissed at Trump about. And Trump has distanced himself from it, but he reflects the extreme direction. They call us the extreme direction of today's Republican Party. So the reporter asked, does President Biden define Vice President Harris as progressive Democrat? And she said, whatever JP pronouns are, Vice President has been a critical partner to President Biden. It's the same old form letter. The administration remains focused on some goals that they have set up. Bernie Sanders has defined her as a progressive. Biden doesn't label her. Okay? He believes in her leadership and falls in alignment with his agenda to strengthen the middle class. She talked about the middle class a lot. Claiming to be a middle-class kid growing up, she went right to that and how Trump daddy gave him money and blah, blah, blah. I mean, same old shit. She did go after Trump pretty aggressively, but, whatever. It's a debate. You're supposed to. And Trump does it. He's a misogynistic pig, but if she does it, she's a strong, independent black woman. Now, that's the liberal logic. You can't, if you say something to a woman, you're a misogynistic pig. A narcissist, white supremacist, because she's a woman of color. But if a woman of color goes after an old white man, it's like free fucking game. It's free game. And she did. She took the fucking shot. OKJP also was asked about 2020 election, the fraud in the 2020 election. Her fucking rubber stamp issued answer. It was indeed a free and fair election. I don't know how she lied. It was such a straight face, but man, I bet she'd be hard to. I bet a lie detector guy wouldn't fucking be able to get her. And they go talking about Trump's, bogus court cases, all his hush money court case and his fucking other paperwork bullshit cases. Well, they're all bullshit. We know that. But it's funny because Congressman Massey, Tom Massey's one of my favorite congressmen, to tell you the truth right now. He speaks a lot of good stuff. But he made a point to say Congress has paid out over $17 million in sexual misconduct on elected members inside Congress. They paid out $17 million fucking dollars. Taxpayer money. Not Donald Trump's $130,000 of his own money. $17 million of my fucking money, your fucking money, and anybody that pays taxes in this country's money. We have a right to know who the fucking people are. Let's expose them all. Expose them all is what he said. He called it out. They cringed back, but they still, nothing being done. Nothing being done. Now, Massey had another. I'll go to the other Massey thing I wrote down. Because why wrong? Okay. Massey come out today. He was at a Congress meeting or something the other day, and he come out and said that he refuses to be a thespian in the speaker's failed theater. Talking about cowardly ass Mike Johnson. He's basically, and this is true, 6-month continuing resolution with the SAVE Act. It's been fucking continuing like a fucking bad movie, like Groundhog Day. It's attached. It's an insult to the American people that our intelligence. It's an insult. We know they're just fucking prolonging it to prolong. They're not going to plan on doing anything. Yeah. So the CR in this, like, you know, the whole thing doesn't cut spending. And the shiny object attached to it will be dropped like a hot potato before it gets passed. You don't want to, and I get it, you know, this resolution or whatever, the continuing resolution bullshit, especially on the SAVE Act, is horseshit. And he doesn't want to do it anymore. I don't fucking blame the guy. Maybe he wants to do some of the work that he's there to do, like make laws that better the country and not fucking around. Oh, man. Well, let's go to the cultural enrichers some more. This one was, we'll go back to the, get away from the Haitians eating pets in Ohio. The cops in D.C., this is the capital of the United States, Washington, D.C. now, is offering a $1,000 reward to locate this guy. He was a person of color, says vegetarian, you know, in that in parentheses, okay. You get what he's doing. This is the mental illness we have in this country. And I'm not just talking about trans and crazy ass. People are nuts. People are nuts. This guy's walking around different areas in D.C., shoving a cucumber up his fucking ass. Why? We don't know. But all this stuff is right in the fucking middle. Cameras are everywhere. He goes to a spot. I watched the video. It was fucking gross. He just stops, gets the cucumber out of the bag, drops his trowel, and fucking shoves it up his ass. It's a fucking dark cloud over the whole country, man. I mean, it is. Mental illness is seeping through this fucking ground that we're walking on in the sky above us. It's coming for everybody. Is it the fucking atrazine in the water? Was it the jab-o-jab? What the fuck happened? In relatively quick order. Now, Kamala Harris, you know, we were working about trying to get Israel. She's been getting a lot of heat for the supposed genocide in Hamas, you know, in Gaza by the Israelis because of Hamas. Hamas rejected yet another ceasefire. It's like they fucking don't want this shit to end. Iran's probably telling them, keep the fight. We'll keep giving you money. 8 times now. 8 fucking ceasefire proposals. And they've rejected them all. So, you know what? I'm tired of hearing about fuck Palestine. Fuck Palestine. Fuck Israel too, though. Fuck the Ukraine. Fuck Russia. Canada, Mexico. Everybody. Like I've already said this shit a million times. Venezuela. Cuba, wherever the fuck you're from, except the United States. I don't give a fuck about anybody but my country right now. I have to. It's just, and it's funny because we even got people from other countries that are talking about a lot of the West African people that are coming. Because the culture's so different. And it's not because they're immigrants. It's not because they're black. And the fucking race cards wore out. Don't even play the fucking race card. I've already went over the whole prejudice against racist fucking shit in my past episode. But even the guy like asshole like Nick Fuentes, who is a racist, he's a self-proclaimed kind of sort of racist. But he had it right here. We're not ready to see real Africans here. And it's not a slam because they're African. It's a slam because their culture is fucking different. And I said Ohio was a hotbed this week. There's a big brawl in Cincinnati, right down the fucking town. There was 40, 50 black people down there. I don't know if they were migrants or fucking just Cincinnati people. But it was you can't hardly go a day without seeing it. I have 11 videos that I saved just to see how many I had. 11 more. In the 2 days, I only spent 2 days on X. And it's 11 different videos of the Sub-Saharans fucking duking it out, man. That's all you can really say. And the Haitians, they're lumped into this fucking category, unfortunately, because everybody seems like they're fucking gone crazy right now. These people Haitian, they call them invaders because, our country fucking flew them in. That's the bad part. But they're all locked in that area, and it's fucking hard on the people that live in that area. But the Midwesterners are getting kind of fed up. They're like, man, they're taking everything from us, and the line at the BMV is a fucking mile long. So basically, there's a guy that was reporting from Springfield, and he said, I want to know who the fuck is telling us to stand down and not to help the American people. Why are we not doing anything about this shit? We're just waiting for cops who will do nothing. They will absolutely do nothing. And the Venezuelans are just still running amok out in Colorado. They're fucking looting grocery stores at every fucking waking moment. Walking out of stores with fucking bags of meat. Just going crazy. And we got even on the right, we got our pussy fucking elected officials in there like Mike Johnson and all the rest of the rhinos. It's just this Speaker Johnson right now. He's creating basically a fake fight for the SAVE Act that Tom Massey had to call him out on. He's setting up a fake fight. He's trying to save. He's fake fighting, trying to say he's trying to save the SAVE Act. It's already passed. It fucking passed in July, and then to vote they want to vote to extend this fucking Harris-Biden budget. They're just dragging their fucking knuckles on the ground, wasting our fucking taxpayer time and money. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I mean, I get so frustrated. I'm trying to see where I want to go to next. But, well, as far as the Democrat Party, let's just stay on the Democrat Party for a minute with RFK. Because everybody said, Kamala was the choice. But Trump had to run against Nikki Haley. He ran against Vivek, Ron DeSantis. They actually had to get through their primary, and it was overwhelmingly for Trump, but they still had competition. RFK didn't have a shot to run against Kamala Harris. Now, would it have made a difference? I don't fucking think so. But still, they can't. They keep saying we're going to kill democracy. When they do that, they're fucking hypocritical as fuck. Because they didn't let him in. They got rid of the primaries to make sure that RFK could not run against Biden to start with. They couldn't even run against Joe Biden because they were trying to conceal his cognitive decline and defects, which we know now is absolutely fucking true. They lied about how he's sharp as a tack. He's a smart guy. He's energetic. He had bullshit. All of it was bullshit. Then they had this coup that they did against Biden. They tossed him out. He was replaced by not any kind of election. He was just, they picked the successor they wanted. They said Kamala Harris for some reason, even though she polled fucking terrible. She did nothing in her 4 years. She didn't get shit in the primary in 2020. All kinds of stuff. The mainstream media only gave Kennedy 2 fucking interviews in 17 months compared to another independent a few years back. Ross Perot got 35. So 2 to 35. This is after he switched to independent. They didn't give him shit. Democrats conducted lawfare, basically, in an attempt to get both of their opponents off the ballot. They want Trump and fucking RFK in fucking court. They want them not to be able to run. You know, that Raskin said that Trump will never be sworn in. It's going to be civil war conditions. He already said that. They're not going to, whatever that word is, it's escaping me now, but certify. They're not going to certify the election for him. It's just not going to do it. So two or 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago, Piss Pants and Harris were making fun of, kind of giving shit to Vladimir Putin because he won his election with 88% of the vote. And they said, yeah, and this was a quote from them. They said, yeah, he only did that because he got rid of all his opponents. That's what Ukraine did, right? Zelensky got rid of, he even shut church fucking religions down over there. He controls the media, he said. And, they say Putin controls the media in the country. Democrat Party is doing the same exact fucking thing. It's the same as what they do to Trump. They say Trump's going to weaponize the DOJ if he gets president. You've already done it. You have already fucking weaponized all the fucking 3-letter words. Organizations against Trump. You've already done it. If you think back to 2020, 20% of the mail-in ballots were deemed fraudulent in the 2020 election. You know the reason we had mail-in ballots at a higher rate is this virus that shall not be named, C-19. So this guy at this place called the Heartland Institute, his name's Justin Hawkins. He said 1 in 5 people admitted to committing voter fraud in the 2020 election. But we're crazy for saying you guys rigged and stole the election. We're crazy for saying it. And a lot of them, they said that they did the fraud, didn't even fucking realize it. They didn't know. 21% of the respondents said they filled out a ballot on behalf of someone else, illegal as fuck. 17% admitted they voted in a state where they did not reside or were not a permanent resident, also illegal as fuck. 10% said they know someone who filled out a ballot in a state where it was not their permanent residence. 8% said they were paid or offered a reward for filling out a ballot in the 2020 election. But yeah, we're full of shit, right? The election wasn't rigged. We lost fair and square. That's what you guys keep spouting. And then all this shit comes out. So the results of these survey questions appear to show that voter fraud was widespread in the 2020 election. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, fucking surprise, right? And we were just talking about the media, covering things the right way and all this shit. ABC, 100% positive Kamala Harris. 100%. And that's where they had the debate, with a sorority sister debate. Damn, I got a fucking frog or something, but talking a lot. Yeah. Try to see where we're going to go, because Oh, a guy got fired from the bar. You mean the famous bar, kind of Coyote Ugly? Guy got fired there for being a Trump supporter. That's the kind of shit they're playing on the left. And it's fucking ridiculous. The lies that they say we do, and what they're fucking hypocritical because they lie more than we do. I'm not saying that the right don't lie. For God's sakes, every politician, when he moves his mouth, most of them fucking lie. That's why I like people that aren't really full-time career politicians myself. But there's a guy on TikTok, and he's an Indian guy, and he calls her Skamala. He's a funny dude, but he does not like Kamala Harris at all. He thinks she's full of shit. Kamala, at some kind of a speech, said that her grandmother would go to village to village in India with a bullhorn, preaching about the need to abortion. This guy said his family has family in that village. His grandmother lived there her whole life. Says she's full of shit. That Kamala's mother never did such a fucking thing. So, yeah. Kamala Harris, she's done some of this fucked up shit that people don't notice. Either before she was vice president or behind the scenes as a vice president, because, you know, we shouldn't let Kamala run from the fact that she was in lockstep. I call it, in perfect fucking unison with piss fans to withdraw the troops from Afghanistan. And she didn't give no fucks about the consequences either. Neither one of them cowards went to Arlington. Neither one of them have answered any questions from the families. They were all in agreement to leave $85 billion. And then, of course, it's always Trump. Trump had us all fucked up. Trump had a fucking sequence for you to follow. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and do this. They did none of it. It got 13 fucking service people killed. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. Kamala Harris also is supporting taxpayer-funded gender-sane surgery for illegal immigrants. Not only being in prison, but now you can get them as an illegal immigrant. Come across the country and get them. She's in support of that. Yeah. Fucking great, ain't it? It's just fantastic. That's all. I do have some celebrity news tonight. So the Ukraine, we were just talking about them a little bit ago. They bombed a civilian apartment in Russia. So no military installations here or anywhere close to this fucking apartment building. So they're targeting and killing civilians. And NATO and the EU are paying for it. Of course, we're fucking mightily handy in that fucking NATO bill. We're paying it too. I don't know if I want to go, but there's some stuff more about like the Haitians. When you're talking about the Haitians, we're saying the illegal immigrants, their culture, that's what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. But you get bitches like Maxine Waters who cannot not play the race card. She does it every fucking time. She said the only reason the outrage over the Haitian migrants is even taking place is because they're black. Bullshit. We're not happy with the Venezuelans either. They ain't black. So it's like, the fuck is she talking about? But we're losing money out the ass and food stamps and all these fucking benefits because they still have a TikTok every day. People dancing when they're getting their food stamps. They're dancing when they're getting the EBT card. So I really don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear any of that shit. And, Maxine Waters is a filthy, nasty bitch. Yeah. If we're going to play race card, let's play it with Dalton, Illinois. Let's play it with that. The worst mayor in the world, according to her new moniker, Tiffany Henyard. What a fucking piece of shit. They still can't get this bitch out of office. Even Beetlejuice fucking said she's corrupt as fuck. She threw an $85,000 party the other day with taxpayer money. For 70 people. 70 people showed up. She spent over $1,200 a person, basically, of taxpayer money in this small village of Dalton. $30,000 on one R&B artist and $20,000 on a fucking rapper. They each played for 30 minutes. I'd love to have that gig if I, as a musician. Fucking hey, give me that. I'd spit some facts for you, Tiff. I don't give a fuck. The rest of the money was spent on comedians and other expenses. She's currently under federal investigation for overspending, and she fucking doesn't, because they don't have any kind of they have to take no accountability. There's no repercussions for what the fuck she's doing. You're under a federal investigation for overspending, and you throw a lavish fucking $85,000 party for 70 fucking people. Her fund balance is $3.6 million in debt. Fucking, I feel sorry for people who live there. She depleted a fund of more than $5.6 million in April of 2022. That was around the time she took office. And the bitch fucking cut fucking whore is still riding high. Still riding high. Yeah. I mean, how the fuck does she stay in business? Now, here's a few more of the videos I'm looking at here. Big fights in Waffle House. Big fights in McDonald's here. There's one in Popeye's Chicken. There's one in an apartment complex. Two in a car. Well, there's another one in an apartment complex where a kid got fucking tossed. He was in mom's arms, and she fucking threw him out of the way. A fucking little kid. That's the kind of crazy shit we got going on in just normal society. That's not even the fucking immigrants. But when it gets farther in, like I won't go into the Trump thing right now, wait. But there was a guy on Charlie Kirk I saw it yesterday. It was a TikTok where his parents were from Mexico. He's born here, but his parents were from Mexico. And he absolutely said 1,000% that child trafficking and sex trafficking go on constantly at the border. Parents were involved in it at one point. They knew everything's going on. He had all these specifics of this shit. If you see if you have TikTok and you have Charlie Kirk, look it up on his page. Or X. I think he probably got it on X too. I hadn't looked on it. But so all the worst fucking nightmares that we say is happening and the left says you're fucking crazy conspiracy theorists, it's fucking going on, man. It's going on. And it's funny because we're still talking about J6, right? They were still talking about J6 from, they've been talking about it for almost, close to 4 years now. But let's go in, and I got a couple things on J6 here, I think. Oh, where the fuck did I put it? This is crazy. I had these in order, too. I don't know what the hell happened, but... So they're forcing J6 political prisoners to undergo re-education. Yeah, you remember the rumors of re-education camps? Well, they're actually doing that with people in the J6 prison system. It's like Soviet gulag. It's like ridiculous shit that you would never think happened in this country is happening, and not even a little bit. It's all the J6 people they got in there. So, yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. There's another one, Oakland. Oakland had a big brawl, a shooting. Nobody seemed to care. They just walked around by them. And it was like, stray bullets could kill you, but now, what the fuck? I live in Oakland. Oh, my God. It's ridiculous. And I'm just going to go to the front here and start going down the line about some of this shit. Kamala Harris. When I was talking about the kids saying the sex trafficking and all that shit was absolutely going on. This is a report that Kamala Harris and her administration runs the largest child trafficking enterprise in the fucking world. This is what they're saying. This is a U.S. Army veteran named Corey Gattaro. He said, I'm here to explain, this is at a speech or a Congress meeting or something. He was here to explain that we now have approximately 300,000 plus fucking children missing in this country. It's unacceptable. Fuck yeah, it's unacceptable. We're worried about cats and dogs. What about the kids? Are there kids missing around fucking Springfield, Urbana, Dayton? I don't know. Fuck, I don't know, but I think I'd be worried more about that at the point. He said what he's seen in terms of exploitation of migrants by cartels is horrifying. That's kind of what that kid was talking to Charlie Kirk about. They use the cartels, they traffic the kids, they sell them for sex at like 12 years old. They like at 12 years old. He goes on to say San Diego County has become ground zero for the unmitigated insurgent into the United States by undocumented migrants being smuggled there by cartels. But we're crazy. We're nuts, though. There's no child trafficking going on. No, fuck you. Fuck you lefties, man. This is a U.S. Army fucking person that was there seeing the shit. He said the U.S. government policy at the border is facilitating a multi-billion-dollar smuggling operation by the cartels. The cartels are not simply providing transportation for a cost. They are sexually assaulting women and children. And they're taking the lives of people without any fear. They have no retribution, no accountability. They won't be fucked because the government is paying them to fucking do this shit. It's evil, man. Pure evil, simple. He said, for the past year, my team and I have personally collected hundreds of discarded, but that's what they do. If you ever watch videos, they just throw their passports away. Driver's license. He had some in his possession from individuals all over the world. And most of these IDs, I find he said they're cruelly destroyed, lit on fire, ripped apart, folded and burned, whatever. Thousands of these travel documents blowing around the border, and many people there just have as much as you could imagine of shit blowing around down there. He said the number one thing is we deserve honesty from our government. Well, we're fucked on that deal because we're not going to get honesty from our government. He said many of the children come unaccompanied. We've seen that. We've heard that. It's because the cartels realize they can profit through our failed fucking federal government Office of Refugee Resettlement that delivers children to unvetted sponsors that are all part of this transnational fucking child trafficking ring. And it's on the fucking piss pants and camel hose fucking watch. How do you like me now, motherfuckers? I'm the conspiracy theorist? Fuck you guys that don't believe in what I fucking say and this shit. It's big fucking people, not fucking guys in their fucking house saying this shit. But you fuckers still got the Donnie fucking blinders on. You can't see nothing past Orange Man Bad, mean tweets, Cheeto Christ, 34 felonies. That's all you fuckers spout about. 34 bullshit felonies. Some fucking nasty ass hag, E. Jean Carroll, and they got on him because he said it wouldn't have been my first choice. That wouldn't have been nobody's first choice if you're fucking not blind. The bitch is fucking nasty. She ain't been raped by 50 fucking... She's got it up to like 50 fucking people now. A money-hungry whore that just could lie, and knowing that how much they hate Trump, they would go fucking crazy after. That's the way it is. And the mental illness combined with in this fucking country, combined with being blind to the fucking, to the obvious. You're fucking blind to the obvious. But there's places in this country now where you're getting more jail time than some murderers are getting in some places for basically not gendering somebody the correct way. That is no bullshit. This was from Elon Musk himself. The dude's in the know. And this is not the United States, but I'm talking about the world in general now is a little bit batshit crazy because this is in Scotland. There's a new law in Scotland that threatens you with 7 fucking years in jail if you misgender someone. And that's coming to America soon because free speech is ending. Thank God Elon took over X when he did, or we'd be a lot worse off right now than we even are. But that's just some of the shit. There's a kid here, another Ohio. Ohio is the hotbed, I'm telling you. This guy told this story. He said his daughter enrolled his 4-year-old grandson in the preschool last week in a small town, Ohio. He didn't say where. And they told his daughter that they have to hire a translator with her own money in order to send him to preschool because he is the only student that doesn't speak fucking Spanish. This is America, small town, Ohio, for God's sakes. And you got to hire a translator to teach your kid Spanish to go to a fucking preschool? Fuck that. And fuck you leftist pricks that think this is okay. This migrant problem is not red state, blue state bullshit. It's everywhere. I live in a red state. He lives in a red state. This is fucking Ohio. We're red. There's too many people. There's too many people in the government don't know what to fucking do. So they have them just, while we won't inconvenience the migrants to learn English, we're going to make you learn fucking Spanish. Fuck the hell off with that shit. Fuck completely all the way off with that shit. I would have been livid. The dude held it together pretty good. But I mean, it's like, I remember years ago where the Republicans always seemed like they were a little bit more for the, in this whole country, we kind of seemed like we were the upper class, you know. And the Democrats were more of the working class people. I think that's reversed. I think Republican Party's now become the fucking class of the common man. Because we're not willing to put up with this horse shit. And the left wants to fucking do all this crazy shit and this exuberant stuff, and they're getting away with it. But we're just common guys, middle class. And the Democrats are fucking Wall Street, big pharma, big tech. It's reversed tenfold. Fucking banks are all controlled by all the Jewish hierarchy, and they're all voting left. I don't know how much more we can take as right-wingers before we're fucked completely. I really don't. And, you know, there's other shit about other countries and stuff I got on here. I'm not going to fucking talk about it. Man, I talked about a couple. Oh, here's another group of sub-Saharans stopping people on the bridge in California again, fucking taking them, robbing them, and all that good shit. While we're out in Libtardia, we might as well hit this one. This is Vista del Lago High School are now warning students that the chants could appear inappropriate and intolerant. They can't chant USA. Is that not fucked up? You cannot chant USA at this high school. You will be in trouble. There's some that say there shouldn't be any limits on students expressing pride in the country. That's God blessed fucking right. Shouldn't be. There shouldn't be any. Why can't you chant USA in a fucking high school in America? And they're saying at some schools across the country, the chants appeared to be used in derogatory ways towards opponents of different ethnicities. They're a race card. They're not. If they don't belong in America, get the fuck out. I agree with Donnie on that. If they're here and they're doing it legally and they're trying to be good fucking people, We can accommodate you, but these gang members, these fucking taking over, squatting in fucking buildings and shitting on the streets 10 times over and doing whatever the fuck else they are, getting food stamps by the thousands, EBT cards by the thousands, wrecking cars all over the fucking place. They have no respect for us as a country or a culture. Get them the fuck out of here. But you're going to tell me I can't chant USA. Put a bullet in my fucking head then, because I'm going to chant it in your fucking face. And my kids went to that school, they'd be fucking chanting. I'd tell them, you go in there chanting as you walk down the hallway. And if they even stop you, I'm coming in there to fucking say something. I like that shit where that kid trying to give out flags and got confiscated. Fuck you, idiots. Palestinian flags, BLM, fuck gay pride, that's all shit. That's all kosher, right? But you can't chant USA. Get the fuck out of here. My blood would be boiling if that happened around here. They said it hasn't been banned yet, but apparently the outrage is there over continuing to say it because the ethnicities feel threatened. Fuck them. Fuck them. We were here. This is our country. So fuck them. Jesus Christ. And they're trying to rig the election with the voting now so they can vote. And it's the only reason they're fucking here anyway. Like I said, there's probably 10% that are actually here for asylum to make a better life. The rest of them are cashing in, causing havoc, and fucking voting blue so they get more shit for free and do nothing. That's what I don't give a fuck you people call me racist. I'm prejudiced, yeah, against fucking thug fucking pieces of shit. That's what I'm fucking against. In Dallas here, they had a fucking election kind of go around like a training class. Told the election workers in Dallas, Texas, to illegally lie on registrations and use a church address to register homeless people to vote. The video was recorded on August 24th during election training by the Dallas County Elections Department. So not only the illegals are fucking getting the vote, the homeless, yeah, they're just telling them to lie on the registration. The homeless can go vote, can't they? Why you got to lie on the registration and then they can walk in there somewhere themselves and there's 2 more votes. The whole thing's fucked up. And you go back to Afghanistan. This shows how bad this administration started. They've started and got continuously worse, and I think it's by design. It's on purpose. I believe that wholeheartedly. This whole thing's been fucking political theater. They knew what was going to go down the entire time. That's just my belief. Call me crazy, call me nuts, whatever you want. But the White House, you know, when you come at them about Afghanistan, they blame Trump. Like I said, they blame Trump for everything. They said that Trump struck a deal that released 5,000 Taliban fighters and ordered a rushed exit by Christmas of 2020, leaving Biden with a flawed deal that could only end America's longest war. Then John Kirby had the ball. He went on to say the Trump administration released 5,000 Taliban fighters and now Republicans want to rewrite history? Fuck you, John Kirby. He also went on to say that partisan rancor is clouding the facts. He ordered the rushed exit. He left Biden in a bad fucking way. Well, Biden, did you have to go through with it, piss pants? Did he have to go through with it? You couldn't fucking dig your own way out. You're the president of the United States? No. He goes on to say Republicans report ignores the brutal reality that the military in Afghanistan collapsed and Bagram Air Force Base wasn't the magic solution that they pretend it was. So they're just 4 years later, after they fucked it up, they're still blaming Trump. And people are still blaming Trump for everything. And Trump, you know, is Trump a fucking crass motherfucker? Sure he is. Does he talk out his ass a lot? Sure. Is he an arrogant buffoon at times? Fucking hey. I don't care about any of that if you're running the country the right way. I don't give a fuck. I mean, Nikki Haley come out and said, you know, who gives a shit what she says, but she says that both Trump and Vance actually need to change the way they speak about women. You don't need to call Kamala dumb. Oh, it's fucking shoe fits. Because you're not even as dumb as Kamala is. Kamala. Sorry, you can't say her name wrong either. The left triggers, even though half their fucking own people get it wrong. He said, that she didn't get that far by accident. Well, no, she didn't. She got that way by sucking and fucking. Well, Willie Brown will tell you that. He's still in love with the bitch, he said. He said it on interview. He's still in love with her. She must be something else. She must be some fucking hot stuff. I don't know. Oh, I just got to find out. Oh, we're still in California and in Kamala Harris district. We might as well do that. So in San Francisco, the Department of Health is handing out drug paraphernalia to drug addicts. I always never understood this whole idea. In case you were wondering why San Francisco and the Bay Area continues to get worse, they got people out handing out syringes and all this good shit. For what reason? Fuck, we don't know. Just to keep them happy, I guess, so they'll vote blue. That's all I can think of. What else you want to talk about? I mean, we go back 3 years ago, precisely 3 years ago, this was Tuesday, so the 10th September, in 2021, was when Piss Pants officially declared that you, me, the unvaccinated, are an enemy of the state. Well, I'm still an enemy of the state, I guess. It still ain't going to fucking happen. But while we're in the 2020 era of that virus that we talk about sometimes, this was Dr. Marty Makary. He said the greatest perpetrator of misinformation during the pandemic has been the U.S. government. Isn't that fucking great? He said misinformation that COVID was spread through surface transmission, that vaccinated immunity was far greater than natural immunity, that masks were effective, all that stuff was horseshit. And I'm probably playing with the band line today, but whatever. Yeah. So that's more of that. Let's see what else do we got going on. Oh, there's a new documentary out. The wokeness. I just happened to say. New documentary out now that portrays Abraham Lincoln as a fucking queer. Isn't that great? They're just rewriting history and they don't give a fuck, man. They don't care. Abraham Lincoln is a flaming fag in this movie. Great. Oh my God. There's another trans murder here. This was a killer who transitioned while in jail. That's fucking great. In New York City. He was an antiques dealer. He had a plate, kitchen knife, and he decapitated somebody with a chainsaw. So this Alex Ray Scott, a 28-year-old trans female from Oklahoma, confessed to killing Robbins Gottapole. I don't know how to say that name. 63 years old in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. He was arrested for the 2020 murder of Kenneth Savinsky in New York City. Pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and the other charges in the Savinsky case. He's facing charges in his home state for allegedly, guess what? Assaulting sexually a 6-year-old boy. Yeah, that's the kind of winners we got. 22 years to life in prison for the deal with Savinsky, and then he'll have to go to Oklahoma and get the rest. I don't know why they just don't kill this motherfucker. Let's just kill this motherfucker. Did get a minute of Antifa vindication here the other day. An Antifa member who was arrested and taken into custody for assaulting a journalist by the name of Casey Whalen. They were outside the Clackamas County Courthouse in, I guess it was Oregon, for this lady who was on trial for Antifa. Suspect had a fit of rage after their Antifa comrade, this was Elisa Azar, was taken to jail over felony conviction. I watched the video. He was trying to talk to him peacefully there for a while. Then she come down and smacked the shit out of him. Just so happened that cops were standing there on the other side of the street. It was a thing of beauty. It was a real thing of beauty. Here's some more confrontations on the street. Andrew Stewart, who's a teacher at West Broadway Middle School in Rhode Island. This is Rhode Island. threatened to attack a store owner with a wooden board because he went ahead and destroyed a Trump sign while wearing a proud trans teacher shirt. So kids, we got kids in school. These are the fucking Fruit Loops that are fucking teaching your kids, supposedly. Supposed to be. I don't think they're teaching them anything, but they're educating them in the shit they shouldn't be educating any of them in. I don't want to get into religion. I had a whole thing on religion, but I'm already at an hour and a half. I just talked about the Portland Antifa agitator, ringleader, whatever you want to call her, Elisa Azar. She got handcuffed, taken to jail on conviction, and all of the little comrades were in there and said, "We love you, we love you." Yeah, fuck off, all of you. I don't even know what the hell she did. I don't really care. Oh, the FDA. This goes back to our buddies, one of the three-letter fucking doomsday people. FDA has been the victim of a horrible rumor that 50% of their funding comes from the pharmaceutical industry. Fucking horrible rumor, FDA. I mean, they've actually released an official report of their funding to prove everyone wrong. Officially, it's 47%. That's so much better. 47 of their funding comes from Big Pharma. So, yeah, they're trying to make it a big deal. Think about that. The people that you're supposed to be making rules and regulations for are the same ones that are paying your fucking bills. They're paying you money. I mean, is that not, in my mind, it's pretty solid conflict of interest? I would think so, but no. Oh, let's go back to Ohio. Ohio's a hotbed this week, man. We really tear it up this week. This is a federal court, though, that ruled that an Ohio school forcing teacher Vivian Garoffi, I think that's how it is, Garoffi, to use transgender students' preferred pronouns was compelled speech. So Vivian sued the district and alleges that she was forced to resign after she refused. Very good on her. Fuck that bullshit. Don't have to play a part of their fantasy. We're not cosplaying with these fucking idiots. She refused to use preferred pronouns and names for students who thought they were the opposite sex. Good on you, Vivian. Fuck these motherfuckers. 100% fuck them. And school got shut down by the federal court. Isn't that great? It's at least a step in the right direction for something. Let's see. Oh, this fucking cunt, Deloro. You ever seen this purple-haired old hag? She was in the fucking Congress or House, whatever the fuck she's in. I don't know. And there was a guy, Mr. Norman of some sort. And I watched the video, but I wrote down the keywords to it. And he basically said, do you want to deal with the border? You could have done it 4.5 years ago. And here's where the bullshit comes in. This Deloro, I can remember when Senator McCain and others put forward immigration reform, and it was House Republicans who rejected it. In the same way they rejected it the last year when Trump said, don't give Biden a win. That ain't what he fucking said. He said, the fluff is bullshit. Everybody said that. 20 million for the border and 80 million for the Ukraine and all other kind of bullshit fluff in there. Fuck off, fucking degenerate old hag. If you're really serious about it, you would have taken that bill. No, we can't sacrifice everything for 20 million measly fucking dollars, which would have barely touched the surface of what we need at the fucking border. They said, it would have been 1,500 more people. But you would have still let them through. You're flying them through. You're flying them through. You're telling Border Patrol to stand down. You fuckers are so easy to read. This was all by design. It was manipulation. The guy goes on to say children are suffering, and that Deloro, of course, you made children suffer. You separated them from their family. Well, Mr. Homan said it one time. If I commit a crime as a citizen of the United States, police have to come and arrest me and put me in jail. I'm therefore separated from my fucking children. So if you come over here to this country illegally, You get separated from your fucking children. Too bad, so sad, fuck straight off. And that's how it fucking should be. So sick of this pandering to these fucking idiots. There's another teacher. We need to open the fucking asylums back up. That's the fucking end game. Open the asylums back up. There was a guy, he's a crazy looking fucking dude. He's a teacher. He claims to be suffering from injuries due to classroom transphobia. Reopen the fucking asylums, please. Don't let these people teach their kids. Reopen the fucking asylums. We go back to the Trump assassination attempt. So the Secret Service leader that was in charge of the protective units, presidential protective units, Michael Platt, something like that. He announced his retirement yesterday. Oh, yeah, I bet you fucking did. He'll leave the service, though, with full benefits and honors, despite the fact that Trump was nearly killed under his watch. It's Pittsburgh fucking office here. Top sources inside the Secret Service have told the news agency brass that, or they told the news agency that agency brass, sorry, I wrote it down all fucked up, encouraged him to step aside. I bet you fucking did. They tried to bury the story on debate night because he skipped out on debate night like nice and smooth. You know, distraction's a wonderful fucking thing that's used by our government in this country. It really is. They're practically going to throw the guy a fucking party. I wonder if he got like a fucking car or something for all his dedication to service to the Secret Service. Even though he was probably in on the fucking scam, because that's come out this week from Democrat Senator Blumenthal. This regarding Trump. This is his quote. I think the American people are going to be shocked, astonished and appalled by what we will report to them about the failures by the Secret Service in this assassination attempt on the former president. They tried to kill Trump, and they threw the motherfucker in charge a party. That's the left we're dealing with. That's the blue boys over there. The fucking 1%, the elitist. They're giving this guy a party, and our former president got shot in the fucking head. And this Blumenthal makes it sound like it's going to be exactly what I said it was, an inside fucking job. And, you know, and it amazes me, all the shit that Trump's right about, people just blow it off. No, he's not. They can't even accept facts. This guy's name is Mike Shirkey. Okay, he was on camera. And he straight out admitted J6 was a fucking scam. It is, people are coming to roost. All this shit's coming out, but yet nothing's being done about nothing. So it was all staged. Said Mitch McConnell, fucking rhino, and I hate that motherfucking turkey neck son of a bitch. He's always been crooked. He should have been out of fucking politics fucking 20 years ago. But he wanted it to be a mess so he could secure a Trump impeachment for Pelosi and Schumer. Two more crooked fucks that should have been gone. Term limits, folks, is very fucking important. Term limits should be like secondary on our list right after we clean the fucking border up. These motherfuckers have been corrupt for so long that they just do it like it's fucking getting out of bed in the morning. Corruption filled. Just fucking corruption fucking filled everywhere. Even the government, like small in cities like Chicago, this fucking aide to Chicago major fucking kingpin mayor Brandon Johnson, piece of shit. She was on a hot mic on a recording. Said, and she came out and said, if I died, especially at the hands of the fucking pigs, like, don't name shit after me. Like, if she died like some martyrdom like George Floyd or Breonna Taylor. We need to elect better people. Both sides. Both fucking sides. Get rid of the Schumers, the Pelosi's, the fucking McConnells, the Lindsey Grahams, the fucking Mike Johnsons. Brandon piece of shit Johnson and fucking AIDS like this fucking hideous looking bitch he's got on there. They need to fucking go crazy with this shit. And our culture's going to shit. And it's not all the migrants' fault. It's not all sub-Saharans' fault. But in this case, it is two people of color. This 13-year-old kid seeing his Ring app go off on his phone, on his doorbell for the driveway in Farmington Hills, Michigan. He was waiting for an Amazon pickup. So he was, when the Ring went off, he's at an Amazon pickup. Now there's two people out there in a rental car. Right in front of him, the girl gets out, pulls her fucking drawers down, bends her fucking nasty fucking ass over. Dude slides a condom on behind her. And the 13-year-old got to see two idiots fucking public in a rental car in his driveway. In his driveway. So he pulled it's like he appears, put a condom on, pulls his genitals out. They have the cell phones in front of them, so they recorded the motherfucker. That's the kind of shit we're doing in broad daylight. Not only that, people are doing all kinds of... Always see fucking people just pulling their cock out on the subway, masturbating and everything. It's all fucking... just fucking everyday things now. Oh, here we got Kamala Harris, promising race-baiting Al Sharpton. This was great. That she will sign a federal reparations bill. When? And she didn't say. He said if you were. He said to her, if you're elected president, will you sign this bill? She goes, when I'm elected president, I will sign that bill. So you're going to force American taxpayers to pay reparations to descendants of slave owners. It's a racist policy that demonizes. It blames white people for every fucking thing. And it's 150 years ago. No, you didn't commit shit. She loves to call everybody else a fucking racist. She's a racist fucking cunt. She's a racist. Al Sharpton is buddies with Farrakhan and traveled to Iran. They chanted death to America. He's been advising old Camel Toe. He's probably getting his dick sucked. On top of that, on her presidential campaign, like Al Sharpton, piece of shit ass, would know anything. Mr. can't even pay his fucking taxes. This is what the country under Kamala is going to look like. 14% will take over. The 14% of the population are going to rule us because we can't say anything to them, but they can say everything to us. That's the way it's going to fucking be. Sorry, I'm prejudiced against fucking thuggery, and I'm never going to be ashamed to be white. I have zero fucking guilt. Zero. There's the dogs. So the media needs to get on board with this and call Kamala Harris what she is, an anti-white, racist, communist, Marxist that she's always been. I couldn't agree with that. Laura Loomer, more on that. Laura Loomer's out there sometimes. This, it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. It's fucking nuts at this point. Oh, the Poland thing, I already talked about them saying they didn't want stinking Blinken there. Kamala and Biden walking into that fucking firehouse and getting no applause, not even recognized. Nobody fucking stood up for them, nothing. A few minutes later, Trump comes in, the crowd goes crazy. It's hard to believe that Trump's losing in the polls. It is. Trump also come out and said he wants to eliminate taxes on overtime, along with the no tip on tips. I think he should go to Social Security too. I'd be all right with that. Any retirement plans, don't have to pay tax on. I'd be okay with that. Oh, remember Daniel Penny? Yeah, he's still in jail for choking out Jordan Neely on the subway, who was lunging at people with a weapon, and he was doing Michael Jackson impersonator bullshit, whatever he was. There's a couple that filmed the incident, but they refused to come and testify for him. They went back to Europe or whatever. He's facing charges of second-degree manslaughter. And the identity and reasons for their refusal remain unclear. I'm saying somebody's got something to do with that. Penny's lawyers believe the footage could benefit the ex-Marine if it's used as evidence, but they will not come and testify. Kind of shitty. I don't know. Talking about crime, while we're standing on crime here real quick. Just some statistics. Per 100,000, the U.S. murder rate right now, because it's always, racist, white people are bad, white people do all this to everybody. Asians 1.5%, whites 4% of the murder rate, Hawaiians 6.5% of the murder rate, Native Americans are 9% of the murder rate, the blacks are 31% per 100,000. Yeah. So I don't want to hear any bullshit about poor innocent me. You're 14% of the population committing well over your allotted amount of fucking crime. Murder. We'll go to the last thing I want to talk about because there's too much other shit to cover. I mean, my head fucking hurts. It's been 2 hours. So. And I don't even know what the fuck time it is. I probably got shit I needed to do. Yeah, I do. But be all right. This one goes from a lady I follow on X her name's Laverne Spicer. She's talking about John Legend, the singer that was on The Voice, All of Me guy. He was with that crazy bitch, Chrissy Teigen, that has weird fetishes and likes kids and all that good shit, weird stuff. He is a proud hometown of Springfield, Ohio. Guess what? We're in Ohio again. But here's her. I'm just going to read her statement to him. This is fucking great. It's Laverne Spicer on X if you want to follow her like I do. So, dear John Legend, where the fuck do you warbling, yodeling ass get off telling Americans they owe Haitian invaders something? Your motherfucking ass is worth $100 million. Your salary on The Voice is estimated at between $13 and $14 million. That means your black ass done made at least $78 million from The Voice alone. And I'm quoting her, so I'm not trying to talk like anything. You sold your Beverly Hills mansion for $16.8 million. You're not hurting for money like the people in Ohio are. She got that right. So I'm going to need you to go fuck yourself. I love Laverne, man. About telling Ohio taxpayers that they owe the Haitian invaders anything. You feel so strongly about that bullshit? You take them all into your house and you have them partying with your satanic ass wife. Standing ovation if I would standing up, but I act like I am. For Laverne Spicer. And just so you know out there, Laverne Spicer is a woman of color. So fuck off with the race card. She's going after John Legend, and I'm all about it. I'm there for it. Great job. There's actually one good one. I'll save it for last. Tyreek Hill. Did you see this piece of fucking trash? Wide receiver for the Dolphins. Pulled over outside of Hard Rock Stadium last Sunday in his little fucking sports car. Cops pull him over and they try to get, this for speeding. They got it all on body cam and they tell me, you need to roll down your window, give us your information, blah, 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 and get out of the vehicle. And he rolls the fucking window back up and is surprised when they drag his ass out of the car. Then he's all, and you hear him in the background on all this saying, well, because I'm a black man in a nice car. I get it. I'm a black man playing a race card. Piece of shit. Gets paid all this money to run fast and catch footballs. I don't want to fucking hear it. And then they were interviewing him on CNN. This guy, this fucking Collins, that bitch. I forget her first name. She told Tyreek, you just tweeted a moment ago. Wow, sorry. That was crazy. It just got out of nowhere. Said, you just tweeted a moment ago. You said, let's make a change. What do you mean by that? And he said, we tried it all. We protested. We took a knee. What's next? We're brainstorming on how we can be a part of this change. How about fucking complying with what you're asked to do by a police officer? How about not playing a race card every time you do something fucking stupid? And he's still on his little soapbox with his fucking dumb ass wanting the officers fired. He wants their head on a platter, basically. Fire them. He wants them gone. Fuck you. That's my first one. Fuck you, Tyreek Hill. Fuck it. Fuck off. Then we go to Jim Brewer, who's a comedian I actually kind of like. He's pretty awoke. He's not awoke. He's awake. He's like us. Most of us. And he kind of summed up the Great Awakening that's happening across the world right now. He gave it a pretty good, this is a pretty good quote here. It's a paragraph long. I'll read it for you. I wrote it down as, before Trump was president, not many people questioned Hollywood or the news. You trusted everything they said. Everyone trusted all pharmacies, all doctors, everything. All of it's now flipping. And that is fucking true. Not just in America, across the whole world. No one's taking it serious anymore. They're losing it. They're losing. The left, he's talking. I have lots of hope, and I truly believe incredible things are on the way. I would too, Jim, but I really don't want to be in World War III, which is probably their way to get out of the shit they're getting called out on. It's getting all too close. Their feet are getting too close to the fire. They're fucking panic mode. But that is a great assessment of the Great Awakening from the conservative side. Because they pulled, and a buddy of mine brought this up to me, and I didn't really catch it at first, but I said, yeah, now I see it. They had to expose it all. This had to happen. The exposure has to happen for people to catch on. But the bad thing is, still over half the country doesn't fucking get it. There's places in other parts of the world that just don't get it. I'm just saying. And I'll get through this. Dave Grohl, got caught cheating on his wife. Going to have a baby. And then in this picture I got, he's dressed in a flowery dress. What the fuck's going on with Dave Grohl? He blew his little tantrum about Trump playing his music, and Trump quit playing his music. But he's off doing his good guy, his little good guy fucking persona. He's a really great guy. That's fucking gone, buddy. You screwed the pooch. You fucked it up. You're done. So, yeah, see how it works out for you. I don't know. Maybe it'll be fine someday. Maybe it's just a bump, but we'll see. The last one is my only completely feel-good story of the day. This was a bridge. There was a bridge in Nashville. And there was a lady, I think it was a woman, standing on the outside of the bridge, acting, she's going to do it, she's going to jump off, commit suicide. She gets talked down off that bridge by none other than rock legend John Bon Jovi. To you, sir, I give you top praise. Top praise, John. That's just a human being thing to fucking do. You could have just drove or walked on by whatever you were doing, but you manned up. You helped this lady not kill herself. You deserve all the kudos and gratitude. I know the last year or so has been a little rough on your voice, and everybody's getting older, and it's hard to accept that. Way to fucking be a true good man. Just a good human being, John. So you get to end my podcast for once on a positive, good note. So thank you for that, if I would ever hear or see from you. A good on it. It's the 0 Hours, vlogs, blogs, and podcast on Facebook, at the 0 Hours 23 on X. If you're watching this on Rumble, of course, it's the 0 Hours Vlogs, all one word, lowercase. If you want to go to YouTube, it's YT, then hates me, IDGAF. It's pretty self-explanatory. But that's where that's at. If you're watching this and you want the podcast version, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the 0 Hours. It's got like a blue sky like behind me here. That picture, I don't know if you can see it. That kind of picture without the dude in the corner there, my old picture. But the sky looking thing with the 0 Hours. Look it up on Apple, Spotify, Castbox, Google, whatever. Of course, if you're listening to this, you can go watch it anyway. I got to, once again, thank my silent co-host, silent partner, information gatherer, extreme, Fred Excelsior, for all the information gathering he helps me with during the week so I can do this little podcast vlog show I do to get some of my angst out about how fucked up the world is right now. And it does feel better to get some of it out. It really does. But I got to go upstairs. The cohorts, as you heard, they're getting a little restless. Probably got to go out. So I'm going to end it right here. So until next time, always trust and believe in your own conviction. And please, for the love of God, stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on another episode of the 0 Hours. Rest in peace, Chuckles. And peace